you think that you, after all that you've experienced here in the last month or two, do you think you can be a full-time major league closer?
I mean, that's the dream, that's what you work for, but I think that's a little kind of outside my thought process. I'm just trying to come to the field every day and do what I can for that day, and try to kind of let that stuff take care of itself.
When you got called up, maybe you had some questions about how your stuff would play, but it looks like it's playing pretty well. So how pleased are you with the way things have transpired so far?
Yeah, it's been good. Talking with Sags, and Doug, and just working since I've been up here with small tweaks have definitely helped. I think my stuff's gotten better with the coaching. So it hasn't just been the exact same since I've been here. There's definitely been some work put in behind it.
What's an example of a small tweak that's been made?
The slider was so new that sometimes if I lost the feel for it, I didn't really know what to do because, I hadn't thrown it very much. Mm-hmm. And just having Sags, give me a little minor feedback, pressure, putting more pressure on the middle finger. And then seeing how the curveball has kind of found its way back into every game almost has been pleasing, which goes back to Sags, the work Sags and Doug have put in with trying to land that,
Sure. Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, John.
So, Joe, have you any experience, past even as a fan with the Yankees? What do you think, I guess, is the question about playing at Yankee Stadium?
It's pretty exciting. I walked through when we first got here. I walked through the Memorial and Center. That was super cool. But it's the Yankees. It's kind of like Fenway, Wrigley. It's just has so much history behind it that it's really exciting. And
have you been there before, or was this the very first time, or what's your history there?
This is my first time. I played in Cooperstown in 2012. But that was with the old stadium, and we just drove past it. But this is my first time here at the new one.
Yeah. And so another interesting aspect of tonight's game is that, you potentially will face your former teammate, Joey Gallo. What would that be like for you?
I think that'd be pretty cool, seeing him in the clubhouse for a month or so when I was here and he was here, and just to kind of see how he went about his work and how professional he was. I just think it'll be pretty awesome to see that.
He was, not a super experienced player yet, but he was really a leader in that clubhouse for the short time that you overlapped with him, wasn't he? Just because he'd been here for longer than most of the guys?
Yeah, and just the way he went about, his day-to-day stuff. It was always putting the team first, doing whatever he could to get better,
And so when you're in a situation like this with a stadium that has a certain amount of, panache to it and that, do you feel like you'll have a different feeling when you take the mound, or will you be able to block out where you are and just focus on the catcher's mitt, right?
I think that's a good question because I haven't really experienced that. I was on the DL with that blister when we went to Fenway, which is probably the closest thing to what we'll probably see playing the Yankees. But I hope that I can rely on, the stuff that I've learned to where I can still have the calmness about me when I'm throwing.
Awesome. Good luck with it, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to Sarah.
Well, John and I must have had the same idea and questions. So I guess I'll kind of circle back from that milestone that Jordan Lyles had a few days ago. As a pitcher, I don't know if it's any sentimental more or less, but for 10 years to watch him kind of have that sentimental reaction, did that strike a chord with you at all in terms of, kind of getting to that veteran status and the dream and the hope for being that one day?
Yeah, I think like 10 years seems so far away, but so did 2016 when I was drafted, and then you're here. But I think Jordan was just a good example of just putting in the work, riding the wave of the ups and downs And something I love that he said was that he never changed who he was. So that was, yeah, it was definitely, it was awesome to see that and kind of humble you, you know?
Yeah, and then as you know, just as far as the season concludes, this being the last road trip, is there anything in particular that you want to soak in as you know, getting this experience for the year and I guess being on the road? Is there anything about road trips that you want to soak in a little bit before the season ends?
Yeah, and not just necessarily the road trips. I think it's just like the last 2 weeks of the year. You know, it'd be easy to kind of check out, but seeing some of the guys on the team that have been here a little longer and how important it is to finish the season strong so that in the future, when we do make a playoff run or something, it doesn't feel as long because you stayed engaged during the whole season.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Jared.
Joe, kind of random, but I guess a lot of times closers are kind of quirky or they got some oddities about them. What would you say is your most quirkiest characteristic, either as a player or just maybe even off the field?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I don't know. Well, we might have to circle back to that one.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm really that quirky.
And then have you made any adjustments from when you got called up until now, with whether it's like your preparation between games, the way you get yourself ready to pitch the ninth inning, any adjustments that you've made just in the short time, not like a mechanical, not anything when you're on the mound, but anything that takes place between the times you're on the mound?
Yeah, for sure. This year was the first year I started doing cupping with Raul, because it's so different in the minor leagues where you never throw back to back. And if you do, it's like once or twice a year. So I knew that I was going to have to come up with a better plan to be ready to throw back to back or 3 out of 5 days or whatever it is. So the training staff has been huge for me, and using them to benefit the way that my body feels so that I can go out there and throw as much as I can.
Is that something, are you going to the training staff and saying, hey, I need a better plan for pitching back-to-back days? Or are you going to one of the veterans in the bullpen and asking them, hey, what are the things you do to get yourself ready to pitch back-to-back games, or both?
Right. For sure. It was definitely like I relied on Brett Martin a good amount. I had a relationship with him before I was here. Mm-hmm. So I'd asked him lots of questions and stuff and kind of saw what he did with his, when he worked out, you know, when he saw the trainers, all that stuff. And I've just kind of plugged in with what I see, what I think I would need, and then just continuing to try to build the best plan for me. But it's been talking to the trainers too and getting their feedback.
Got it. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.